Hello everyone, it's Helen here and thank you for joining me today. So it's day 3 of my 12 days of Christmas and I need to get a move on because it's day 3 already and I have another 7 to make. So this is day 3 and it's a giant gift box. It's an exploding gift box which you'll see once I remove the lid, and inside it is jam-packed full of Ferrero Rochers and a nice surprise in the centre. So I do have a Valentine's version of this on my YouTube channel, but today I want to make a Christmas version and it's going to be the full tutorial again because I don't really want to go and refer you to one of my older videos. So we're going to make this today, and I do have a website, that's helengriffin.co.uk, and there's going to be so many measurements that I'm going to be giving you today, so it'll be easier just to go and look at the cutting guide, but I will remind you throughout the tutorial that that's where you can go and get the cutting guide for this. So just sit back, relax and enjoy this tutorial. So this is my exploding box. It's massive. Inside we have a Ferrero Rocher, well, a giant sized one, so it has 2 inside there. That's really yummy to eat, so that sits in the center. And then I have on these walls here, it's jam-packed full of Ferrero Rochers as well. So this will hold 64 normal sized Ferrero Rochers and 1 giant one in the center. So the paper collection that I've used today is from Nitwit Collections. It's called Farmhouse Christmas, or Christmas Farmhouse, it's one of those, and I will put a little picture here of the entire collection because I've only really taken like 5, maybe 6 elements from the actual collection, and there is absolutely loads in there. And using a digital collection this time of year is perfect because in December we have all of the brand new spring stuff coming out, and you only have like the dribs and drabs left of what's left in stock for Christmas papers and everything. I know one of my paper pads has sold out now and I have 1 Christmas paper pad left. So using a digital collection is easy to use. You can personalize it, you can make as many as you want, you know, and it's just so easy to use this time of year or any time of year, because I've been crafting for Christmas now since May, because this is my job. We start in May and end of December I'm so going to be ready to start on spring and bring in some nice pink flowers. So that is the large one. Now this is based off one of my other projects that I have here. This is from one of my die sets actually. It's the smaller version, so some of you may have this project as well. So this is the exploding box die set, and the links for this will be down below as well. So if you have this die set and you wanted to make a larger version of that, then this is going to be absolutely perfect as well. So we're just going to have a quick look at the papers that I'm going to be using today. So this is a very tiny amount of what is in the kit, and I've already shown you pictures of the kit just previously. So the papers at the back, these are going to be for the bow. So I've printed off 2 of those, and I've printed off 4 of these wood slices with the words and pictures on. So those are going to be for my acetate windows, and these 2 patterns here, these are going to be for the outside of the box. So this is going to be all of my matting and layering, and I may print some more out, but again this is a very tiny amount of what you get in the kit, so I've just printed the main papers. So let's get on with making the base. Move those aside. So I'm just going to grab my scoreboard, and then I just need to grab up the measurements. Okay, so you need to cut a piece of paper or card. I'm going to be using, where is it? It's right behind me. Right, I'm using Ruby Foundations card from Creative Expressions, and there's loads in there as well. So right, so this first piece is going to be our base, and that needs to measure 7 1/4 by 7 1/4, and you need to cut 4 side pieces now. So these side pieces need to measure 7.25, which is 7 1/4 by 5 3/4. So again, you need to cut 4 of those. So in portrait, this is portrait, this is the landscape position. So in portrait you need to score at 1/2 inch so it should look like that now on all 4 of those. And then we're going to fold them over and then taper the ends. Okay, let's move this aside. That bright white colour does interfere with the white balance of the screen, of the recording. So fold that over, grab some scissors, and then just slightly taper them, just like that. There we go, so it should look like that. So do that on all 4 of them. Okay, so let's bring in the base now. So all we have to do now is just glue these onto each of these 4 sides. So just add a bit of glue on the underside here. So I'm going to be using Cosmic Shimmer Dries Clear Glue, and everything that I have linked today will be listed down below. I do get a lot of questions on the things that I'm using, and my answer is it's listed down below. So if there is something that I have forgotten, just let me know down in the comments and I will add that, because you know, just like when you're packing for going on holiday, there's always one thing that you forget to add. So just let me know if there's anything missing. Okay, so that is the first one added. So do the same on all of the 4 sides. Okay, so that is our base done. Now I'm going to put a mat in the centre of that just to cover my writing and all of these flaps here. So that is the base done. So let's get working on the side boxes now. I'm going to grab my scoreboard out again. And I have 2 pieces here. So one is the acetate lid and one is the base of the box. So you need to do 4 of these, so you need 4 boxes. So I've got 3 already made, and you also need 4 of those acetate lids. So this piece of cardstock measures, I need to refer to my notes for this because there are numbers everywhere. So this measures 7 and 11/16 of an inch by 8 and 3/16 of an inch, and I'm going to score at 1 1/4 on all 4 sides. Do not worry about writing these down. I'm going to have to keep saying this. Don't worry about writing these down. Your cutting guide is on my website, and the link that will take you direct to that page will be linked down below. So just double check 1 1/4. Yeah, always double check your measurements before you cut and score. So it's 1 1/4 on all 4 sides. There we go, let's move that aside. And let's fold all those score lines. Okay, so I've got bits of dry glue coming off my fingers now. Okay, so let's cut into these corners now so we can get this box put together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up the left hand side of the score line. So the score line is on this side of the flap, and I'm going to taper that in and cut that score line off completely. And I'm just going to taper in on the other end and pull downwards. I'm going to do exactly the same on all of the four corners. There we go. Get rid of all those little triangles. And now we can glue this together. So I'm going to add my glue on all of the four tabs. You can use double-sided tape, but whatever you do, make sure your adhesive goes up to this line here, because that is what is going to create the side of your box, like the corner piece. So to get a really nice, well glued together, neat looking corner piece, you need to go right up to the score line. As you can see, I have a nice corner there, no flappy bits. So for this one, I just like to tuck this one in there, get that bit sorted out before I finish these corners. There we go. Right, so that is our box done. So I should have 4 of those now. Pop that aside and put this glue away. We're going to be using some red line tape next. I'm going to get that ready. Got some red line tape here, and I'm going to be using that on my acetate. So grab your piece of acetate and your scoreboard again, and this acetate needs to measure 7 3/4 by 8 1/4, and we are going to score it at 2 1/2 along. Oh no, I'm reading the wrong measurements here. I was reading the wrong line. Right, we're going to score at 1 1/4 on all 4 sides. So yes, really do go to the website and get the cutting guide, because I may just say the wrong measurement. Okay, so we're going to score at 1 1/4 on all 4 sides. So I'm just going over it just twice, pressing quite hard. And there we go. So here we have our lid. Move that side again so you can maybe even see it better. So this thing is really static. Right, so we're going to fold everything in. See, the thing is with acetate is it wants to go in the way that you've scored it, so it's going to be really easy getting those all folded over. Let's turn that over. Sorry if it's a bit noisy. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm still peeling off that dry glue. Does anyone else suffer from that? Picking off dry glue. So we're just going to do exactly the same as we did on the base. We are going to trim into the lid just like that. And then what we're going to do is add some tape. Again, I'm going to go right up to that score line and then trim it off. I'll bring it up closer so you can see what I'm doing. I don't know how invisible this is. Let me just check on my screen. It's not too invisible. Might have even got a few glances of me there, maybe. Anyway, right, so let's get that added again just at the bottom. we go. And the secret with any sort of double-sided tape is to push down really well the backing tape. It will come off a lot easier. Right, so repeat that on all of the 4 corners, and then you can then assemble it just like we did with the glue, and that's exactly where I will see you guys again. Okay, so as you can see, I've gone right up to the score line there. So let's get this put together now. Just going to do one at a time, or otherwise you may get into a bit of a sticky mess. So make sure these are bent over as well, so you have your corner made there ready for this one. So you may just need a little bit of extra bending just to get that into place. There we go, there we have our first corner done. So do the same on all of these. If you have dry bits of glue on that, just try and get those off, and then grab your box. And I have my box here, so this is a very slight rectangle, and you can just pop that over the top and that fits on perfectly. Right, so you should have 4 of those now. So let's get those glued onto. Okay, so I've zoomed ahead a little bit, so I've got one of my boxes down already, and I've also trimmed out those wood slices and glued them onto the acetate lid as well. So let's carry on getting these glued on. So what I'm doing is I'm adding glue to the base of each of these boxes, and then what I'm doing is I'm positioning them on the right hand side, so every single box is going to be on the right hand side. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I'm not going over. It's going to be really hard for me to see because I'm trying to film at the same time, so I don't want to get my head in the way of the camera. So I'm making sure that it is on the right hand side. Yep. So this flap here is going to be on the left. And I'm also making sure that I can actually close that up as well. Right, so that is that box done. So twist that around, and let's get the next one added. Might be easier if I switch it around this way, and then I can see what I am doing. Okay, so I'm closing this up so that I know that I haven't gone over the score line, and then just pressing that down. So again, keeping to the right, just switch that round again. This is looking really nice actually. Add some more glue to this one. And another thing that I've done whilst I was off camera was I've matted the edges of all of these acetate boxes, and the measurements for those are going to be on the website too. And I just use a tape runner to add those, just a simple tape runner. I find that's a lot easier sticking things to the acetate than using the wet glue. Okay, so this is now added, so we can now fold everything up. There we go, so that is going to fold up just like so. So all I have to do now is mat the inside and the outside pieces. But before we get to that stage, I'm going to make the lid for the box. So let's move that aside. Okay, so here are the lid pieces, so let's give you some measurements now. Just need to bring those up again. So the top piece here is going to measure 9 13/16 of an inch by 7 5/16 of an inch, and I'll show you the scoring in a moment. So you're going to be needing 3 pieces, so 2 of them are going to be exactly the same, and the other one is going to be a little bit longer. So the longer piece is going to measure 3 inches by 8 5/16, and the two shorter ones, they're going to measure 3 inches by 7 13/16 of an inch. And again, don't worry about all of these numbers and measurements. The link down below will take you straight to the website, and the cutting guide will be there for you. So let me quickly show you where we score them. So on the larger piece, you need to score at 2.5 in the landscape position, and on the longer piece, so we only have one of these, which is the longer piece, you're going to score at half, turn it over, score again at half, and then turn this one over again and score again at half. So we have score lines going over 3 of those edges, so this long one here won't have one. And then on the two shorter pieces, we score at half, we turn again, and we score at half, and do exactly the same on the other one as well, so they're going to look exactly the same. Okay, so let's get scoring and trimming. Fold those over just like that, and then what we're going to do is just cut through the intersection there, so it's going to look like that. Then we're going to on this fold here, we're going to taper that end exactly the same on this one, and taper that end. Okay, so get these folded down again. We may have to switcheroo the folds, but as long as we get the cutting done, we can then decide which way the flaps are going to go as we assemble the lid. So do exactly the same, go straight across there, trim that down, and then trim that down as well. And then the next one, exactly the same again, except we have 2 corners to trim off on this one. There we go. Let's get rid of all of our offcuts. Okay, so now we're ready to start gluing our lid together. So I'm going to start off with these side pieces first. So this long piece here goes on this end there. So I'm going to set that aside. And these are the side pieces now. So we're going to glue this one onto this side, and this one I'm going to turn over and just switch the fold over, because this tab here is what is going to join onto this corner there. So let's get those glued on. So grab your glue and do the main panel first. So we're going to go on the long edge, and I left the lid off. Oopsie. Let's hope we can get some glue out. Yep, here we go. Do exactly the same on the other side, so making sure your flaps are this side at the top. There we go, so let's get the bottom one done now. So we're just going to glue that one on this side, just on the last remaining side. Okay, I can just about see the score line there. There we go. Okay, so now each corner should have a flap that we can attach this to together. So let's start with this side. This project's getting quite large now, so apologies if I get too close to the camera for this one. Again, I'm just going to add some glue to this flap here. Tuck that in. I like to spend a bit of time making sure that my corners are nice and neat and everything is lined up. Just the last one here. Pop that in, and don't worry about any of my handwriting that's on there because I'm going to be matting this. So that's just for my notes, just so I didn't lose all the pieces or get mixed up. Okay, so let's get that onto our box. Okay, so let's close this up and then get the lid on. Okay, there we go. So that is what it's looking like at the moment. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mat all of the edges and the sides and in the center as well, and then I'll be right back to show you the last finishing piece, which will be the bow. Okay, so here is my box. It's all decorated and I've matted it on the inside as well, so this is what it looks like, and I've chosen a grey cardstock here to go behind this red piece there. So I'm really loving how this is feeling. It has a really nice kind of a weight to it as well now that we've added mats to it. So let's open this up. There we go, all flops open, and I've also matted the inside as well. So for the mat sizes for all these, I'm not going to give you any more numbers because I've given you so many numbers for this tutorial. So again, I'm going to say they're on my website. The link will be down below for that. So this is going to go in the middle. This is my giant grand Ferrero Rocher. So the outside shell is made from the Ferrero Rocher shell, and inside it is hollow. Wouldn't it be wonderful if it was just one complete giant Ferrero Rocher? But inside we have two of the smaller ones. So I'm going to pop that in the centre. So we need to put our Ferrero Rochers in all of these boxes. So I'm sure you're wondering what I've got and how many I've got. So let me grab those. And here they are. I shared them on my Facebook page last week. I can't remember, I think it was 80. I think I've ended up with 80 something or 70 Ferrero Rochers. I cannot remember how many are in each pack. Does it tell me? Does it tell me? No, it doesn't tell me. But I got these from Amazon, and they were £10 a box. So that's not too bad in price. They're £20 for all these Ferrero Rochers. So I will have the number. I will put it here somewhere on how many are in these boxes in total. So let's get these open. But you think these trays are really nice, tapered. Look at that. I just love the shape of that. So what can I use these trays for? I need some ideas now. I definitely want to keep these trays. These are really good sizes. So perhaps I could keep some unfinished projects in there. Or I could, even use it for display purposes. I am going to have to delve into the second box as well, because there's not going to be enough in the first box. Oh, one stuck to the top. Put that one back. Maybe that one wants to be eaten. Okay, so let's get our first tray in here. Take the lid off. so running out of space, you know. Okay, so let's pop these all in here. I won't film the whole lot. I will come back once this gift box has been filled. Can you imagine if you gave this to someone who absolutely adored Ferrero Rocher? That would be such a wonderful gift to have all 4 of these boxes filled up. So I'm going to fill the rest of these up now, and then I will be right back to show you what it looks like, and then we can work on the bow. Ta-da! So here it is. I think it's 64 Ferrero Rochers that fit inside this box, and again, you don't have to fill it with Ferrero Rocher. There's enough space in here for 4 little gifts, whatever you want to put in there really. So this is a lovely little gift box. I can feel the weight of that, that's nice and weighty. So in the centre we're going to put our Grand Ferrero Rocher. Let's put that on. Right, so I'm going to move this aside now because we're going to be working on our bow. Right, so I'm going to be using one of my die sets now to create a beautiful bow for the top of the box. So these are the dies that I'm going to be using. So it has 2 tails, and I'm going to die cut 2 of one each of these ones, large ones, and then I'm going to cut 2 of these smaller ones here. And this is the die set. It's called the Ultimate Gift Bow die set from Simply Made Crafts, and the papers that I've chosen, I've printed off, are going to be this kind of a dark grey black sort of checkered look, so really going for the farmhouse feel there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some tape here just to tape everything down. These are joined together, there we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop this on just at the top there, grab some tape. I'm going to have to get some fresh stuff just to hold that in place. And then there's room at the bottom here just for the smaller one. And I'm going to do this on both pieces of paper. I have 2 of those pieces of paper, so I can cut the second one out here, pop this one on there, and then there should also be some room here for these tails here. So let me get those all cut out, and then we can jump straight back into gluing the bow together. Okay, so I've got everything cut out. I've got my glue gun here. It's heating up, so you should be ready to use in a moment. And here are all my pieces. So I have 2 of the smaller ones, I have 1 big one, 1 smaller one. They do stagger in size, and then 4 of these tails. It does come with 4 of the smaller tails as well, but I'm just going to use the larger tails. And I have a bone folder as well, because this is what's going to help curl our bows round, so that we don't kind of create creases where we don't want them. So it's going to help it just to curl round, just like that. So just do that. Keep your thumb in the middle here just to support the centre, and then work your way around on each one. Okay, do the same on the next one. This one is a little bit thinner here, so I'm going to keep my thumb on that section just so that I don't accidentally, you know, pull it off. I have done that before, getting a bit carried away there with my bone folder and the curling. So just support that area there and go right. Okay, so I'm ready to glue my first one now, so grab the glue gun, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue in this section here, not straight in the centre, but I'm going to glue it to this section here, and then I'm going to curl that over and then hold that in place. If you don't want to burn your fingers, you can just hold that down with a bone folder. Again, I'm going to add some glue just here, and then just a dab there as well, just to support it. I'm adding the glue to this section here just to add a little bit of extra support for the bow, because this is kind of where it meets the other side of the paper. Just keep going round. So I've had this Sizzix glue gun now for about a month, and I'm absolutely loving it actually, because it has a very nice thin nib there, and I do like the amount of glue that comes out of it instead of it doesn't like smoosh out and go everywhere, and I can get a nice defined bit of glue where I want it, and it doesn't give me too much. I do have a cordless one as well. This is really handy, and I love this one as well, so I take this on my travels with me, and I use it on Hachanda as well, so it's really handy for that. But a little bit of extra glue does come out more so than this one, and this Sizzix one, it doesn't really like leak very much either, which is really good. And I'm using this the wrong way round. I wonder it wasn't sitting right. There we go. Let's turn that round. Oh, that's a lot better. And it has this pad here as well, so if you do get any drips, it's absolutely fine. It comes off really easily on this little silicone mat here. So I've turned this over. I'm just going to push these upwards. Okay, so ready for the next one. Do exactly the same. Add a bit in the centre this time and a little bit on the edge. So how many of you noticed I had this on the wrong way round? Let me know in the comments. Okay, I'm loving how this is looking already, so let's get rid of these strings here. There we go. Right, so let's bend these upwards. This is going to fit inside that one, so this one is slightly smaller. So now we can pop that inside, just like that. I probably won't need two of these smaller ones. I'm thinking it's just going to fit just one of them. I don't want to overfill it, so just squish that down. This is going to be a really nice 3D squishy bow. Can you imagine making these for all of your presents, and you don't even have to go to the shop to buy a big pack of those bows, and you can just do this in any of your pattern paper. That's really squishy. I like that. Okay, let's do the last one now. Again, I'm holding it just in that section there. It's a weak section, so just pop your thumb over there just to support it. Curl them round, and then do exactly the same. And I'm going to need my bone folder now just to hold everything in place. There we go, so there is our small one in the middle now. I'm going to pop that right in the centre there, so yeah, there's only room for one more. Add some glue to that one. I'm turning this on the diagonal just so that it all alternates. I think the pressure does want it to twist round, so just do your best to try and keep that in place while it dries. There we go. And it has twisted round again. Okay, so that is our squishy bow almost done, and now all we have to do is add our tails on the bottom. This is what's really going to make this bow look fantastic. A nice finishing touches there, so I'm going to work on this upside down. So this bow looks absolutely fantastic, made with glitter paper, glitter cardstock, mirror cardstock, so you can really personalise this. Okay, so we're done now, so I'm ready to now pop this. Move that aside, I can use that somewhere else. I'm going to now pop this onto the box. Here's our box, and there is our bow. Just going to add some glue just to those parts there. And then I'm going to press that down. There we go. If you wanted to, you can add other bits of cardstock to act as a ribbon going all the way around. That's up to you if you want to do that. I may do that. I'm going to think about it a while, because I like to kind of set things aside and then come back to them. To turn this off. Right, so that is the giant Ferrero Rocher exploding box, and that does match the other box that you can get the dies for to make the smaller one. So give me a thumbs up if you like this project. If you make this project, I would love to see your photo. So my hashtag is Helen Griffin UK. Just share and tag me wherever you want to, and I'd love to see what you've made. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you again next time.